Hello and welcome to Club 3 of our Fm22 Journeyman, where we attempt to go from non-league football to winning the Champions League. We're back today, starting our journey with our third club, Manchester City. For those of you who haven't seen, pop back and watch the last episode where we came and had a quick look at the club. But essentially, it's not the Manchester City that maybe you and I know. It is a Manchester City that did not qualify for the Champions League last season and in fact finished in the bottom half of the table. Very much a club in transition and in a bit of a rebuilding sort of state at the moment. We have got our first two matches with the club in this episode. The first one against Wolves a day after we've joined the club, and the next one against Barnsley, which of course is the club we just left. This is the lineup we're going to be using for that first match against Wolves. We've got Ederson in goal, then a back four of Mendy, Malacio, Diaz and Lamperty. Rice and De Bruyne start in midfield behind Isaac, Felix and Foden, with Adeyemi up front. In all honesty, we haven't got a huge amount of choice in that lineup. In fact, we were talking about squad depth in the last episode. Once we get outside of those 9 substitutes, there's actually only 5 other players available. 2 of those 5 players I've actually called up from the under-18s or under-23 squad. We've then got Aymeric Laporte, but he's injured, and Danny Martin, our goalkeeper. Jack Grealish also out with injury. We don't have the deepest squad depth I've ever seen. I think January, which is obviously up in a couple of weeks' time, the January transfer window, I think that very much needs to be a period where we try and build up some squad depth. We do have a lot of players, obviously, that do want to be leaving the club, which is less than ideal. So something we're going to have to address very, very quickly. We also don't have an assistant manager or anything like that at the moment. We're very low on staff. We're very low on playing staff. The whole thing, I think this next half a season is going to be a pretty difficult one for the Man City camp. I'm confident we can at least get some sort of European football for next season. That means basically finishing, I think, 7th or above, and I feel like even in a rebuild state, a team like Manchester City should be able to go and do that. Of course, if you do enjoy today's episode, please do drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. We are uploading this series 4 times a week on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. So if you fancy following along and seeing how Man City do this season and in the upcoming seasons, hit the subscribe button now. Not a huge amount going on in this first half so far though. I feel like very much these first couple of matches at least are going to be sort of working out maybe where we've got gaps, working out where maybe we need improvements, where we can sort of fiddle with our squad a bit, where we're going to get injuries to Foden, who seems to have picked up a little bit of a knock, but it hasn't brought me any match info anywhere to actually tell me about that. We have got our first highlight of the game though. Declan Rice on the ball here, out to Isaac, playing that one forward for Adeyemi. Adeyemi with our first goal, Manchester City manager. Just slotting that one past really, really nicely. If we can see a little bit of that this season, that would be lovely, please and thank you. Rice there just playing it out wide to Isaac, seeing the run of Adeyemi. It's just a big ball forward for him to run onto and slot very, very calmly past the Wolves goalkeeper. It's a good start. We'll take it. The potential injury to Foden isn't fantastic. I could have done without that, but we still haven't had any info about it. Nothing's come up. Of course, the lack of assistant manager might be something to do that. Now I'm actually saying it. It could be he's injured, but there's no one to actually tell us about the injury. We're just meant to notice it. We are on the attack again here, though. Isaac now cutting that one forward again for Adeyemi. It's a shot on target. It has been saved by the Wolves goalkeeper, and we are going to get a throw in off the back of that. I guess we do nothing with it though, because we aren't going to see a highlight of it. The next highlight we're going to see is Wolves on the ball right at the end of the match, and I don't like the look of this because I really don't want you to be getting a goal now right before half time, but they are bearing down on goal here. It was the first half to forget. That highlight there, it was actually the last one of the match, and it kind of ended as the last kick happened. I think we're going to tell them that things are going well, but they're possibly capable of a bit better, please and thank you. And we do need to substitute Foden here. The next best player in that position is Raheem Sterling. We'd have to play him as a winger though, so we'll play him as a winger on attack, because he can't really play inverted on that side. Again, the potential lack of squad depth kind of making us having to change our tactics already indicates that, yeah, we do need a couple more players being brought in January. Cut back to Lamptey here, who's got a cross into the box, but it's cut out by the Wolves defender. De Bruyne now into Sterling. Sterling across the Adeyemi. It's once again blocked more than anything. It's not a save in the goalkeeper, I don't think. I think it was just sort of hit into a Wolves defender there. And we're not exactly looking, I don't feel, like the Manchester City you'd expect. We've still got some of the players you'd expect. De Bruyne, for example, there. But we're definitely not the team you would see now, the one that's dominating the Premier League year in, year out, with an occasional sprinkle of Liverpool for our entertainment. But globally, Man City are the team that is being top of the Premier League or thereabouts for a few seasons now. This doesn't look like that team. This looks like it was that team, and then it kind of just got a bit old and gave up. That is a really good goal, to be fair. Goal there from Campbell for Wolves, as I'm saying about it being an ageing squad and maybe not the Manchester City we're used to. Adeyemi passes that one back to João Felix, who has an awful first touch, and it somehow falls to Campbell just to wallop that one home past Ederson. It's a shame for Ederson because probably a bit blindsided, but that one didn't necessarily see it coming, and he is a really, really good goalkeeper. I am kind of encouraged by the fact we've had a lot of possession. What I'm not encouraged by is the fact that Wolves are having a lot of shots and we are not having more shots than them. We're kind of lots of possession, not doing a lot with it. That ball played into Adeyemi there. Nothing made of that set piece. The board, of course, asking us to make the most of set pieces. So we do need to be seeing some corners and things going in this season. But for the moment, we just take another goal, however that comes. Declan Rice is looking a bit tired, as are a couple of other players. So we are going to need to make some changes here. I think Malacio comes off and Van den Berg comes on. And then Declan Rice is the next one who's tired. But João Felix isn't going to be exactly very good as a ball-winning midfielder, so we won't put him there. We'll bring on Paulinho. I kind of want to bring on at some point Almeida and have a look at him, but that means dropping João Felix. I mean, maybe we can do that in the next game because Felix hasn't done anything outstanding. He's on a 6.4 rating. It's not exactly great. We're going to go attacking for the last 15 minutes as well. Paulinho's come on and got a yellow card straight off the bat. I can't tell him to ease off tackles, of course, because he is a ball-winning midfielder. And it doesn't let you do that. De Bruyne with a corner here again into the box, but it is cleared once again. Raheem Sterling going to recycle possession for us. Running into the box. It's crossed in. It's kind of nothing's come of it. We've played around with it so much and then given it straight to Wolves, who are now launching their own counter-attack. We haven't pressed this one at all. We've kind of just let them in. That's a little bit concerning. I'd like us to see us at least attempting to close a player down, not just letting him waltz into our penalty area. Mendy with a throw-in now over to Van den Berg, who nods it back down to him. De Bruyne back over to Mendy on that left-hand side. Paulinho, we are just playing around with the ball here. We probably need to be getting it forward with a little bit more urgency. Mendy over to Isaac. Maybe this isn't the formation for us because I want us to be a very attacking side, and this doesn't look attacking enough. Adeyemi here. Adeyemi not managing to get that one on target. Again, that could have been the one that got us the goal, that got us the 3 points. Instead of that, we are still drawing with Wolves. And I don't feel like Manchester City, regardless of what players it's got there now, whether it's in a rebuild, it should be drawing with bottom of the table Wolves. Sterling now through on goal, trying to chip the goalkeeper. It has hit the crossbar. It's cleared by the Wolves defenders. Our luck doesn't seem to be here today either. It does seem to have been gone and having a day off, and our first match in charge of Manchester City is going to be a 1-1 draw with Wolves. It's not the most inspiring of results, if we're honest, and it does still leave us down in that 9th position. We are some way off the pace here. It is going to take a lot of work to get us back on the pace, I think. And I don't know if this is the right formation to do it. We've got more injuries though. Isaac, Lamperty, Phil Foden. Oh, this is going to be a hard season. Let's get over to match against Barnsley and see if we can have a better result there. Alright, so we are back for the match against Barnsley. This is going to be our lineup for this one. We've got Edison in goal, back four of Mendy, Laporte, Milasio and Frimpong. We've then got Polhinia and De Bruyne in midfield. Sterling, Almeida and Felix is our three behind Adeyemi. And the reason I'm laughing is because there's so many just forced changes in here. Ruben Diaz needs a rest. Phil Foden's not fully fit. Tarek Lamperty also isn't fully fit. Grealish obviously injured, as is Alexander Isak, Luca Netz and Duffy Winterbottom. This squad depth, it's very much at the moment. I could see the January transfer window being an interesting episode, and theoretically that will be the next episode on the channel. I don't know if we'll come back and do a whole thing for it, but I am tempted purely because I think a lot of these players are going to want to leave, and I think we need to bring players in. Very interested today, of course, though, to see how Barnsley are lining up now, and we're not going to see that, so we are just going to pause a second. No, we're not, because we're going to get a highlight. Bogle here taking the throw in. We've managed to cut that one out. De Bruyne over to João Felix, who's playing out on the right wing today. Sterling now surging forward. He's into the box. He's taken a shot. Montipio managing to get a hand to that, not a foot. A hand to that and saving it. De Bruyne with the corner now though, to the back post. No one even jumping for that one. It's easily cleared. Almeida though trying to recycle possession and keep the attack going. Palahino over to Laporte. That is going to be the end of that attack. I just want to see how Barnsley are lining up. So they've got Montipio in goal, and their back four is Branthwaite, Holmes, that defender I can't pronounce, Bogle, it seems about right, Blinkhorn and Yoanoy in midfield. Maduke over on the left hand side though. Essenola now, because they're playing a 4-2-3-1. Essenola in there, it seems perfectly reasonable. Kleimunchek out on the right and Jenkins up front is maybe a little bit of a strange one, but I've done it so it's not that strange. And then the bench is pretty much what you'd expect, really, I guess. No Nonto, though, which is interesting. If they don't want him, I'm happy to recall him from his loan and bring him here, because we are in some desperate need of numbers, and I know that he can play at this level if we need him to. I have got players getting yellow cards all over the pitch, though. That is less than ideal. We will encourage our team. We do, obviously, today want to go and batter Barnsley. I apologise in advance to the Barnsley fans. De Bruyne playing it forward to Sterling. He's managed to get it. It is cleared by the Barnsley defender. Palino. I'm saying the Barnsley defender because I can't pronounce his name. João Felix turns in the box. He is brought down by Branthwaite. Is that going to be a penalty? It looks like the referee is going to go and consult VAR. Penalty review being checked here. It is awarded, and Adeyemi is going to be taking this one. Can Montipio save it, or will we go 1-0 up in this tie against Barnsley? Adeyemi slotting that one home fairly comfortably, and the manager here absolutely not celebrating the goal. It's a curt nod towards the Manchester City fans, but out of respect for Barnsley, we obviously aren't going to celebrate these goals. We have to show them the respect they deserve. They're the ones who got us into the position we're in now, without going to Barnsley and doing a good job there and bringing them up to the Premier League. We obviously wouldn't be here at Man City. We are dominating here though, and I don't know how much of this is to do with the fact that we were overachieving with Barnsley as a manager. So we'd be expected to dominate this, and how much this is because I changed the tactics a little bit and the formation in between games. Because this is a very different from Very different performance to what we just saw against Wolves. João Felix through now. João Felix there putting away the second. I mean, we're not going to celebrate it, but fantastic goal. That is exactly what we want to be seeing. That sort of performance, that sort of finish in this season, and we will be all right. Adeyemi playing that one forward for João Felix to run on to and just slot past the goalkeeper. It's actually a pretty tight angle, and he's managed to get that somehow into the right-hand top corner, which is actually quite impressive from that angle. We're trying to launch another attack there, but it has been cut out by that defender, who is now played it to Essenola, to Blinkhorn. Played that one through to Jenkins. Jenkins has hit the crossbar. Sorry, buddy. Now, we have managed to clear it, but Maduke is still keeping up the pressure here. And we have now blocked the cross to knock it out for a corner. I'm assuming, I don't know, I always had Kleimunchuk taking them. They've got Ioannoi taking their corners at the moment into the near post. It is saved by Edison from that header from Branthwaite. That is Barnsley's first and only shot on target. Although, as I've said that, they've just put 2 more shots into our camp. So maybe I need to shut up and just go and tell the team that they're doing quite well. We're quite happy with how things are going. The scoreboard looks good. We've had lots of shots. We've had lots of shots on target. Possessions looking good. It's all looking fairly good. If we could go and grab a couple more, I'd be a lot more comfortable. This is where it's a little bit scary, is when you start looking at the table, because we've played 17 games, 24 points. Arsenal have only played 16 with 28. So if they win, the closest team we can catch up to get into the European competitions is Everton on 30 points. There is nothing happening in this half. Let's make some substitutions. We have, of course, got some tired players, because why wouldn't we have some tired players? Our players seem to be tired all the time. We're going to bring on Malion for Adeyemi here. Felix off and Nunez on. That's just to kind of keep Felix's little legs happy, because we don't want to be breaking any of the players we have got. We don't have a lot of them. De Bruyne with a free kick on the edge of the area into Palhinha, and it is not on target there. De Bruyne is also looking tired now, so he's going to be the latest one to come off. We'll take him off. We'll bring on Phil Foden in that central midfielder slot, and he can see out the rest of the match. Barnsley have come back into it a little bit in this half, but globally we're still very, very comfortably in charge of it. XG looks really, really good, as do the shots on target. Just for some reason, this second half not had a lot of highlights. It looks like there's still been a lot of match going on, according to the match stats. Football Manager doesn't want to show us any of it. FM22 is quite happy for us to get to the final whistle with a 2-0 win against Barnsley and 4 points from a first possible 6. We still haven't lost a match in charge, which is nice. We have only played 2 games, so let's not get too excited yet. But we need to now have a look forward and start putting some pressure on Everton and Arsenal here, and Leicester as well. They're the teams we are chasing at the moment. We're not really thinking of a top 4 finish this season, I don't think. But we are very much trying to think of at least getting into those European slots for the moment. Realistically, we want to kind of be getting into 6th place, which means chasing Everton, Arsenal and Leicester. Leicester we do play in 4 games time. The others, where are the others? Arsenal's the last day of the season. Everton's in the last 3 games of the season. So it could stay tight right until the end. It's going to be an interesting rest of the season, I think, especially depending what happens in the January transfer window with lots of players wanting to leave. It could be quite a busy one. If you have enjoyed today's episode, of course, please do drop a like down below. It is very much appreciated, as always. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, maybe you're new to the channel and you're watching this because we've joined Manchester City, maybe you've just not got round to it yet, why not hit the subscribe button and join the channel? It is completely free, of course, but it does really, really help us out. And if you hit the notification bell, YouTube lets you know whenever we do upload to the channel, which is 4 times a week for this series. Until next time though, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you do want to watch some more content on the channel, have a look at this video next, and I will see you on Thursday as we continue our journeyman with Manchester City.